All right, we're live. What is going on, my brothers? Episode number 97 of the Before the Train Wreck series. The only show on the internet that shows you how to not make a train wreck out of your life, right? Before we get started, I have to drop the here. Do me a favor. If you're on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, join us over at YouTube's. Just helps me out a ton with the algorithms when you come on over here, hit the like button, and let the YouTubes know that this is worth sending out in subscription feeds. So I get sent stuff all the time, dudes. People send me emails and DMs of stuff, and sometimes I'll click it open and it's like, oh, 48 minutes of this. I got to listen to this. I'm going to be lectured on some topic. And this one popped out, for me. It was, there's a YouTube channel called I think it's called Lana Rhoades, 3 Girls, 1 Kitchen. Never heard of it before. Dude sends it over to me. I'm sitting there eating breakfast, drinking my coffee. Why not? Let's see what this is all about. And it was 48 minutes of my life I'll never get back again, obviously, but there's some lessons in there on what women think of themselves and what they believe a trophy wife should look like and what men really think a trophy wife looks like. So I'm going to break it down 2 different ways in this cast. One, we'll deal with their stuff. I'm going to summarize it. I can't play it all, obviously, because of copyright infringement issues. So I'm just going to basically summarize it and play some very short clips. You can go look it up if you want to watch it yourself and waste 48 minutes of your time. But I'm going to save you that by distilling it here in this cast and getting you the meat and potatoes. Yeah, these chicks, Chris, these chicks. I've never heard of them before. So it's a fairly popular channel, apparently. They've got, where is it here? I popped it up. They have almost 1 million subscribers, believe it or not. And it's 3 women in a kitchen. So let's get started by sharing the screen, and we'll get the cast up so you guys can hear it. Which one is it? The Real Trophy Wife. Trophy Wife Training is what it's called. Share audio. Share. Okay, so let's do this. Before I play this, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I had no idea who any of these chicks were, and it wasn't until I started watching it when she was talking about her past and how some guys would shy away from her because of her past. And I was like, okay, well, what is she talking about? What does she do in her past? Then she started talking about dropping out of school in grade 8, joining a cult, or what seemed to sound like a cult, going to jail, and working in porn. So it turns out Lana Rhoades is a porn star. News to me, maybe not news to some of you guys. Apparently a popular one too. She's got well over 100 scenes from what I could tell when I Googled her name. Lady's got a big notch count, I can tell you that. And she's sitting here lecturing on what trophy wife training looks like with her 2 other friends. So let me throw these in here and we'll get this ready here. Okay. All right. So I got it queued up here. I got a few notes. So before I start playing this, because this is her summary of all of their points. She talks about Tumblr and what trophy wife training looks like from the perspective of hypergamy. She completely butchers what hypergamy is on the sexual marketplace, but she basically distills it down to gold digging and women seeking men that are of higher education and of greater wealth, which is somewhat true, but she misses, many of the finer points, which is to be understood. The women go on their social apps and the Tumblrs of the world, and they'll go and learn a new term, hypergamy, and they'll go talk about it in their 3 Girls in a Kitchen cast and try to educate ladies on why that ties into trophy wife training. But anyway, she goes on to talk about sexual partners and how a friend of hers got dumped because this dude found out about her sexual past. And, she goes on to talk to ladies how sexual past shouldn't matter. Women will lie to other women about the irrelevance of their sexual past. And I'm going to share some data that I have from some men here on 2 different surveys that I did in the last 2 weeks. I figured at some point I had to cover this topic. So it segues in nicely that she's got her trophy wife training video and I've got my data on what men really like. So I'm going to cover her stuff first right now, and then we'll get to what guys like, and we'll do some Q&A call-ins today as well. Blah, blah, blah. What does she ramble on about here? My notes. Rambles on about style making a high value women. Again, I'm not going to play all this because you guys can go and search the cast to watch all if you want, because it just causes problems with YouTube. But she rambles on about how style makes a high value women. Truthfully, most guys don't care that much about style. I mean, as long as she's fit, not overweight, and she knows how to put on, you know, a decent outfit, it doesn't look like a slob. I mean, you'll find most guys are happy with even a woman in some form-fitting yoga pants, to be honest with you. She rambles on then for even longer about fake lashes and how that's important for high-value women. She rambles on about perfumes, which I personally can't stand women that just like drink perfume because they just reek of it. Hurts your nose, hurts your eyes. A light dusting is fine, but she puts a lot of emphasis on fake lashes, perfumes, style. Oh, they also talk throughout this cast about this term bad bitch, or actually it's queued up here, so you're going to hear what she's talking about, because you're going to hear them, you know, do a little dance when I play this for you in a moment. But they go on several times, 1, 2, 3. I counted 4 times where they reference each other as like bad bitches or boss girls. And, you know, I talked about this earlier in the week on my social feed, and men don't care about being around women that have bad attitudes. They don't want to be around, you know, miserable women that think that they're bad bitches. I mean, for the most part, what I've found anyway, and, you know, I want to hear from you guys in the comments, but whenever you hear this, you know, this term boss girl or hashtag bad bitch or whatever it is, they're usually disagreeable women with a bad attitude, and they think that they're something like a dog walking business makes them, you know, like a boss girl. You know, they walk 4 dogs a day and they think that that makes them a boss girl, and they have it all together. Men don't want that. They don't want disagreeable, you know, terrible women like that. Points. High value male read. Oh, she goes on to tell women that if you want to be attracting high value men, read the Wall Street Journal, read Stoicism, watch documentaries, build puzzles. And she talks about why men love bitches. Apparently there's another cast, which I've been told that I need to look into as well, which is based on a book called Why Men Love Bitches. And all the hobbies and interests that she's covered in its completeness is really built around doing puzzles, reading a newspaper so that you're up to speed on stocks, and watching documentaries. And that's what's going to draw in a high value man. Now, you'll notice the title of the YouTube channel is Lana Rhoades it's 3G1K, 3 girls, 1 kitchen. So why are they sitting in a kitchen and not cooking? Why are they not showing, you know, women how to make a sandwich? It's just them talking about bad bitches, her past with prison, her past in porn, her giant notch count, which she suspects guys should look away from. So let me give you the summary, because when I started listening to this, she sounds like a nice, pleasant, you know, girl off the bat, but there's a lot more to it. So here you go. Listen to this. Let me just turn this up some so you can hear it. Oh, hang on. Wrong page. There we go. That one. There we go.
I'm like, that's my best friend.
Watch
She's
this
a real
dance.
bad bitch. Oh God, she don't need no lip.
So this like mad bitch, it's throughout the whole thing. It's pretty gross, if I'm being honest. I mean, that's just my perspective. You guys shout out in the comments, but we've got these 3 girls in a kitchen doing no cooking, no culinary skills are being presented. They're not telling women to know any kind of culinary skills. They're just sitting there with their giant ass mugs of coffee, and listen to the summary now.
So all in all, a trophy wife is a high value woman.
And you know, keep in mind, this is her summary of it. It's not the other 2 chime in at this point. But oh, look in the background. They have aprons here. Anyway, here we go.
our eyes. She's well-rounded. She has hobbies and interests. She works on bettering herself every single day, whether it's physically, mentally, educating herself. She's surrounded.
I feel like the motor's running, but nobody's behind the wheel when she's talking here. Like, okay, let me carry on and finish it.
Surrounds herself with good people. She dresses for herself, not for other people. And she just loves herself and puts all her energy in.
She loves herself. She puts all of her energy. She dresses nice. Blah, 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 blah. It's like none of those things show up on any of the lists that I asked men to, dispense when they provided lists of what they thought was a high value woman.
Effort into building herself. And then when she loves herself so much, she'll be ready to go and find someone else to love.
Yeah, and she'll love that man and be a great, great woman to herself and to that man.
Yeah, and she becomes the prize.
Yeah, and she's surprised because of all that, because she's done some puzzles, watched a few documentaries, and reads the Wall Street Journal. I mean, when we talk about solipsism here and how women are innately solipsistic and they can't see past their own noses, they don't know what men want. They think they know what they want. All they do is they paint this picture about, just do a few puzzles and watch some documentaries and read the Wall Street Journal from time to time and dress nice and put on some perfume and have eyelashes. And it's like, okay, that's kind of a start. Like look nice is good. But let me show you what guys say when I surveyed them. So let me pull up the first one here. I'm going to take this out of the cast and add another screen in just a second here. Let me cue it up. All right, share, stop, and share screen. There we go. So I just screen captured this off our Rule Zero page because I surveyed the group in there. There's a few thousand guys in there. So these are the top 5. A lot of them added extra ones, and I had to clip those out just because there was, can I make this bigger so you guys, there we go. So I just summed it down to the top 5. So what they voted on the top one was respectful and in my frame. Men want women that are respectful to the men and operating in their frame. By the way, they don't operate in your frame by default. You have to give them a reason to operate in your frame. You have to be a high value, sort of top shelf guy that they're willing to yield to, if you will. Second thing was youth, beauty, and sex appeal. The optics of beauty, shocking, Of course, that's important. Now, this one's kind of interesting because this is a little bit more on the blue pill side of things when people say trustworthy and loyal. What I did was, and I'll show you the other survey that I did where people added all their comments. There was like close to 1,000 on there. It was really a lot for me to go through, and I took the ones that popped up the most. So trustworthy, loyal popped up a lot from guys in the comments section of the community tab, where they're saying, I want a trustworthy and loyal girl, assuming, that they've probably been, maybe their trust was betrayed in the past and they got cheated on or they got dumped for some other dude. But the thing that you always have to remember as a guy is her presence in your life is never permanent. It's what did Chris Rock say in his stand-up Tambourine? Women, children, and dogs are always loved unconditionally, and men are only loved under the condition that they provide something. Women are only going to be trustworthy and loyal to you. Most, for the most part anyway, will only be trustworthy and loyal so long as you add value to their lives. You put yourself in a position where you're no longer employable. Circumstances change in that relationship. Don't be surprised if she bounces on you. So don't ever lean on, trustworthy and loyalty being a feature that you're going to look for in women. They're only as loyal as their options. So if you're the best option, you got them. The days that she wakes up back to back, weeks and months in a row, where she no longer sees you as as the best option, and maybe Kevin in sales becomes a better option, don't be surprised if she bounces. They're only as loyal and trustworthy as their options. So you want trustworthy and loyal, get a dog. I said this before, I'll say it again. Next one was submissive and feminine. That was number 4. Femininity, surprise, being a feminine woman, which, to their credit, they have the optics of femininity. But they do state at the beginning of that cast that they are all a feminist, which is why you don't hear them say anything like, Learn how to make a sandwich for your guy. You know, trophy wives should know how to make sandwiches. You don't hear them say that. Submissive is, of course, very important to men. They don't want to have, I mean, they don't want to come home after conquering the world, putting a dent in the universe, working on, you know, their craft, whatever it is that they're doing, and then be, you know, browbeaten by some angry feminazi that's going to like henpeck them throughout their evening. They want, you know, they want an agreeable, pleasant woman to be around, which, you know, brings me to the next point. You know, the fifth one was pleasant and agreeable. Yeah, Alex says so, very true. 100%. Let's pull this out, and I'm going to show you one more, and we're going to switch over and start taking call-ins in a little bit. So let me grab the join link and get rid of this 3 trophy chicks. 3 trophy chicks. 3 girls in a kitchen. Don't even know how to cook. Okay, here it is over here. So share, and boom. Okay, so actually here, let me grab the join link. So if you guys want to hop on tonight and ask a question, don't leave it to the last minute. Let me grab the link here. Let's go. Okay, so that's the join link right there. Boom. All right. Make sure you got headphones and a decent mic and an internet connection. If your audio sucks, you got one chance and you're out. So this here, I dropped on the community tab and asked guys, men only, comment below. What are the top 3 characteristics you look for women for the long term? Okay. Let's just assume long term encompasses everything, inclusive of wife, trophy wife, whatever you want to call them, right? These are the top characteristics that men seek. This is from over a week ago, so there's quite a few comments here. There's over 600. I'm not going to go through them all. Feminine, self-aware, knows when to admit her wrongs. That's kind of wishful, you know, for being honest. Here, let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it too on the screen. Respectful, you know, we don't want to, you know, deal with you need a boss girl, a boss bitch, or whatever all, you know, all that nonsense is. Some younger guys that are more plugged in might think it's cute. They might think it's fun to be around. But trust me, if you've ever dated a woman that's, you know, subscribing to this boss girl stuff, you're going to find out very quickly that you don't want to deal with it ever again on a long-term basis anyway, right? I mean, most guys that might be spinning plates might tolerate it because they'll just be like, get lost, you know, they'll send them off on their way as soon as they get some attitude. But on a long-term basis, guys have very little time with it. Femininity, fitness, homemaking abilities. I'll supply the finances, the protection, and the adventure. So Joe here says femininity, fitness, and homemaking skills. I don't see anything here about, you know, reading the Wall Street Journal. I don't see anything here about, you know, eyelashes or doing puzzles. None of those things have shown up so far. So let's see what Tony says. Don't look for women at all. Relationship between God. So he's a man of God. We got beautiful. We got respectful, especially to her parents. Financially literate, meaning not in debt. That's the way that I would translate that. Gavin says high level of mental health, takes care of herself. Future goals are cohesive in my path. So it's kind of in line with in his frame. Vince says no kids, operates in my frame, stays in decent shape. You're starting to see a pattern here, right? We're not seeing anything here, you know, that's popping out about girls that know how to, you know, do puzzles or read the Wall Street Journal or anything like that, or dresses with style. You know, I mean, be beautiful, be feminine. There's nothing specific to style or eyelashes or anything like that. Yeah. Like, when was the last time you guys wanted to have a conversation with a woman about what's on the front page of the business section of the Wall Street Journal, right? I don't have those conversations with women. I mean, I have those conversations with guys from time to time when I respect and trust their opinion, but why would you enter into that dialogue with a chick that decides to read it because she's trying to put on the facade of attracting a, you know, a top shelf guy, right? I don't know. Kurt says strong motherly abilities, positive attitude towards men, and good relationships with father, and frugal, meaning, you know, she's got financial intelligence, loyalty, maturity, big booty. Yeah, I'm down with a big booty. Maturity. Yeah, as long as she's not doing all this boss girl shit, dancing around with her friends, not knowing how to make a sandwich. Loyalty. So loyalty starts to pop up. You know, you're going to see that more and more as we kind of scroll down here, you know, through a few more. Attractive, good family values, good morals, gets along with both parents, exercises common sense. Adores her father and truly believes in family, gentle and sweet, is non-combative and possesses a spirit of giving, not taking. A healthy self-worth, believes in taking care of herself in every way, not degrading or devaluing others. Right? Attractive and feminine, trustworthy and common sense. Again, trustworthy shows up again. You guys have to get the whole trustworthy thing out of your heads. I mean, this is a mistake that men make that can lead to a train wreck, is when you're sitting around going, well, she appears to be trustworthy. Well, she might be trustworthy right now. She's only as trustworthy because you're her best option today. Maybe next week, maybe next month, maybe for the next 20 years. I don't know. But you have to get the whole trustworthy thing out of your head. You have to trust in yourself. That's really, where the trustworthiness needs to come in. Trusting in yourself to work on yourself, to put your dent in the universe, to go and do that work on yourself. The do the work part that I talk about. CJ says genuine desire, right? Loyalty and feminine. Again, loyalty shows up again. Trustworthy, loyalty. No masculine attitude. Boss girl, right? That sort of thing. Has character, respectful and beautiful. Feminine energy, trustworthy. Again, see, it keeps popping up. That's why it ended up in the the top 5 there. Smart enough not to be influenced by today's standard society and social media. This is an interesting one, because a lot of women get sucked into the vortex of social media approval, right? That's a big one. I talked about that in the red flag chapter of my book, The Unplugged Alpha. It's available on Audible, by the way. I think I mentioned it last week. I'm going to keep talking about it, but it's out on Audible now too. So I did narrate it. Go grab it on Amazon if you haven't listened to it yet. Again, Charles here, trustworthy, keeps popping up. Sense of humor. I don't particularly, pleasant to be around ties in sense of humor, I think, but I don't want to listen to a female comedian. I don't find them nearly as funny as male comedians. Attractive, obviously, pops up. Attractive fit, good personality, homemaker, knows her way around a kitchen. Right? Has some culinary skills. Not 3 girls sitting in a kitchen with no culinary skills. Oh, man. Respectful treatment of people, relationship, parents, feminine. Yeah, loyal, feminine. Again, loyal pops up again. Beauty, integrity, humility. Attractive, loyal, respectful, funny, home skills, burning desire for me. Beauty, mentally strong, physically fit. Has no children, good relationship with her father. Has her financial shit together. Kindness, loyalty, integrity. Yeah, there's a lot of this popping up over and over again. I should probably dedicate, loyal. Look at this, loyalty. I should probably dedicate it before the train wreck specifically to the topic of loyalty, because it seemed to make it in that top 5 very, very quickly. I think that's enough. You guys get the idea, right? They're sitting around talking to the ladies, telling them how to be a trophy wife, which consists of none of the things that men are looking for in what they view as a higher value woman. What was the language? Top 3 characteristics is what I put in the question, right? This is what guys seek in higher value women. Okay, let me grab the join link. I got a few people waiting in the background, the waiting area. Do me a favor, if you're in the background area in the private chat, just let me know what your question is, so it helps me just kind of sort through everybody. And if you want to ask a question live, the link's dropped in the chat. Let's get this on. See if there's any super chats here, questions I might have missed. Alexander says, a bunch of you guys watching, only 140 likes. Is that true? Yeah. Hit that like button, guys. Costs you nothing. Just, shows a little love to the channel, lets YouTube know, and the algorithm give this a little bit boost so the people that are subscribed get to see this too. Kudos, Richard, presenting. Our culture is prison. Very true. Seen this many times. Yeah, there's not a lot of guys disagreeing here in the comments. I get the unwillingness, but how do you not know how to make a sandwich? You'd be surprised. Women today really do lack in culinary skills. They don't realize the value in being able to put a fine meal together for a man, and how men appreciate that quality in women. Most women are utterly useless in the kitchen today, unfortunately. Right? Anyway. All right. Let's go to some of these questions we got you guys popping in here. Let's grab Muhammad first. What is shaking, dude?
Hey man, what's up?
There you go. What's happening?
Hey, so my question is, right now I'm actually a a 17-year-old, and I'm just talking. Should I worry about the woman I choose right now? And right now, should I try to find the trophy woman right now?
Where do you live, dude?
I live in Atlanta, Georgia.
Have you read my book?
No, but I plan on buying it.
You should definitely get a copy of it and read it, because I mean, the first thing that you need to know about being 17 is asking questions about, should I get a trophy wife? Shouldn't even be on the radar. Questions that you should be asking is, what kind of foundation am I going to lay for the rest of my life? You know, what kind of life do I want to live? What kind of dent do I want to put in the universe? What's my purpose? Where am I going to make my bank from? Right? What do you have at 17? Do you own a house?
No.
Are you a multimillionaire?
No.
Do you own a car?
Of course I do.
Okay, so we're starting. Okay, so we're starting with something, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like, what qualities do top shelf women look for in top shelf men? Hypergamy.
Yep.
You haven't ticked off any of the boxes, you know, for yourself yet. So why are women going to want to enter your frame at that point? I mean, unless you're like, I get there's like cultural, you know, places where people get married in their teen years. At 17 might not be that abnormal in certain cultures in different parts of the world. But in Atlanta, Georgia, no, man, you're running like head first into a brick wall without a helmet on.
Yeah, man. And I just want to know. So right now, I know that you don't really like MGTOW, and I really don't like them either. But I just want to know, right now, at my age, should I go what is called, like, I think it's called monk mode or something, where you just don't talk to girls at all, but just focus on yourself and try to level yourself up.
I don't have a problem with MGTOW. I mean, that's a rumor that goes around. The problem that I have is with these doomer losers that like to spend all their time complaining about why their life is miserable, and they try to, you know, commiserate with other guys and they recruit them. I've got MGTOW guys in my community, and I have had them for quite a few years. But their definition is different. And I cover that in my book as well. There's a chapter on that, what monk mode looks like, you know, what the real version of MGTOW is versus the hijack version, what the black pill looks like, sort of thing. You'll definitely get a lot out of it, especially at your age. But your purpose right now needs to be positioned on laying the foundation for the next, you know, 10, 20 years of your life. Again, what is it that you're going to do? What dent in the universe are you going to put? How are you going to make, you know, the money that you need to make so that you can live in this world, right? And all of these things, by the way, they're all done for you first. They're not done for, you know, to get the girls or to get the chicks or anything. It's like, hey, if they show up along the way and their value is adding to your life, you want to allow them in, you want to invite them into your life on a longer term basis, that's a choice you can make, right? But chasing girls right now, especially at 17, like even in your 20s, is a big waste of your time.
Okay, so I shouldn't be, so like, should I still be like cold approaching girls and still at least talk to them, or should I just completely
talk to them, bang them, friends with benefits, date them, whatever you want, but don't get into a long-term relationship, and for the love of God, don't get married at 17.
I got it. Thank you, man. Take care.
Cheers, bro. All right. Let me grab the super chat here real quick. Marissa says, I'm married almost 3 years, and it's important for wives to accept that they'll do 95% of the housework, chores, bathrooms, dishes, laundry, etc., and then accept the chores and then not complain about it. You guys are probably thinking, how do we clone Marissa? Well, I don't know. But she makes a valid point. This is something that women need to understand. Following this advice right here, okay, is going to be better than listening to three girls in the kitchen going on about being a boss girl and a bad bitch and all that kind of stuff. That's utterly nonsense. They think they're cool. They think that's what guys want. They want to, you know, boss girl, bad bitch. Lana Rhoades with her notch count of 200 and bad attitudes, been in jail and you know, lived in a cult. Hey, a lot of guys will overlook that. I mean, if you scroll down in the comments of that video, there's a lot of dudes that are like, oh, I'll totally look past your past. You're beautiful no matter what. I don't care what you did in the past. You know, fine, go for it. Enjoy. But she's not choosing men like that. Here, I'm going to grab the link again, drop it for you guys. Come on in if you have a question. Al says, thanks for all you do. Your audiobook is great for the weight room. Yeah. Enjoy it, guys. And by the way, do me a solid. If you've gotten my book, audio, Kindle, print, whatever, definitely leave a review on Amazon. It helps me out a ton. Just let guys know, that you got something out of it. And let's see who we got in the waiting. Dana. All right, dude, I'm going to pull you in. You got a question? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, man.
What's shaking?
I didn't. This is the first time I've ever joined in, but I've been watching your videos, and I get a lot out of it. I'm a divorced 51-year-old. I got divorced back in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of been on this track that you guys are going, like you and Kevin Samuels. I just came across you guys' videos, and I find it interesting that there's a lot of other men out there that think the way that I was thinking. So I appreciate these videos that you guys have been putting out, trying to get these men to be alphas. I personally felt I was a beta when I was married. And once I got divorced, I changed that story. I learned a lot. And a lot of the things that I learned is what you guys speak of right now to the
it's just about
younger
setting
crowd.
some healthy boundaries, right?
I'm sorry?
Just about setting some healthy boundaries and holding yourself in a higher regard. A lot of guys, they just fucking disparage themselves so much.
Right. I think what happens a lot when guys tend to be betas, they kind of feel sorry for themselves, and they listen to the story that it was all their fault as to why their wife went out and cheated and did all this crazy stuff. But what they need to know is that men do have rules, and we need to go ahead and let people know that we have rules. It's not all about what women want. So
did your wife go off and cheat on you? Like, what happened with your marriage?
Yeah, it was a story. Well, I was one of those guys that took care of the kids and went to work, brought my money home. I thought I was doing the right thing to keep a woman. My father never sat me down and taught me how to, finesse a woman, if you want to call it that. He never sat me down and told me the things that I actually tell my 23-year-old son now about how women work. But yes, she did go out. I was home taking care of the kids. She used to go to New York to say she was seeing her cousin. I was living in Boston at the time. And, she wasn't going to really see her cousin. So came home, and you know how we are as men, we're territorial when it comes to our women. And, come to find out she's sleeping with another guy and then coming home and sleeping with me. So that really bothered me. And I had to go to anger management over it. So I did go to seek help, mental help, because I was going through a lot of other things at the time. But I don't know. There's a lot of guys out here. But what I would just say is you don't need to accept that, and you don't need to go through those emotions that, it was somehow your fault because she said it was your fault. The whole thing about, you ignored me, that type of stuff, just because you were doing the things that you like to do. Never take ownership. I mean, if you were doing stuff like that, ignoring your wife or whatever, then that's on you. But if you felt you were being a really good person and taking care of business the way women say they want guys to do, never take ownership of why a woman cheated on you. She did what she wanted to do.
Yeah, and that's why, I made the point earlier when it kept popping up there in the comments about loyalty, guys wanting loyal women. And it's like, women are women, they're going to do what they're going to do. If they see you as their best option and they're hypergamy satisfied, you're in a pretty good place. But that's not guaranteed for life, man. When you take these vows, they sell guys a bullshit, bill of sale when you go to church and or the courthouse or wherever you do your ceremony. It's in sickness and health and richer and poorer and till death do us part and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, fine. I took the vows. I kissed her. I gave her the ring. We had the ceremony. We cut the cake. We kissed, ding, ding, ding on the crystal glasses and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so you think that you've done your duty and she's never going to do you wrong, but hypergamy doesn't care, right?
Right. So that's the Disney Channel stuff. You know what I mean? The Harlequin novels, they try to teach us that, that love at first sight and all this stuff about knight in shining armor and women believing in that. And guys, it's not true. I always say to my friends, like, it doesn't matter what you have. I know a lot of people are talking about the, women wanting high quality, high value men and all. And when it comes down to it, if a woman doesn't want you, it doesn't matter what you have. So
what's your position right now? Because now you're divorced. It sounds like you got some grown kids. You date. You kind of do your own thing. Like, how do you deal with women today now?
I think I don't know. Some people would say I'm a little brutal because I just don't put up with a lot of BS. I don't want to curse on your channel, but I don't put up with a lot of BS. I find that if I can't talk to a woman about any topic, like I had a woman kind of back off of me because I brought up a video that Kevin did. And, Kevin's speaking, in my opinion, he's speaking a lot of truth about what guys don't want to deal with. And the things he talks about, women with bad attitudes. You say it too. I've watched a lot more of his videos than yours, but I've seen a lot of your good snippets. So the way I deal now is like, I'm kind of like, listen, I got the rule. I have rules too. If you don't fall in line with a lot of my rules, I'm willing to listen to you, see what your rules are like. But if you don't fall in line with my rules, I delete your phone number. There's only certain things, and I'm not being ridiculous about it. I just have certain boundaries that I don't allow women to cross. If I find that women are, I'm not a chaser. So I'm like, if you really like me, then you're going to show me that. You're not going to, sit back and I'm the one always reaching out to you. I'm the one always calling you.
You ever get lectured by women, because of that position, because you're setting boundaries?
Yeah.
Well, they ever tell you off?
They don't tell me off. I'm not going through that stuff, but
block, delete.
Yeah. It's just real simple. I'm not going to argue with anyone. Once I got divorced, I told myself through those years where I was rebuilding myself that there's no need to argue. You're going to believe what you believe. I'm going to believe what I believe. At the end of the day, if it's you that want to get married one day and you want to go towards that road, then you're going to have to act a certain way to get there. And I'm a person I'm not really looking to get married again. If it happens, if I meet that person and that person makes me feel like I want to be with her for the rest of my life, then I'll make that decision. But right now, I go out with ladies. I have fun. I go to the gun range with them and, go out to movies and go to eat and do a lot of that stuff. But even recently, I haven't been too keen on getting sexual with a lot of women because they try to use that as some sort of crazy way to get their emotions and craziness involved. So,
and what age range are you dating in right now? Like you're 51, you said, right?
Yeah. So I've dated 26. I was 49 when I dated a 26-year-old, and I go throughout the range. I've dated women older than me. They just have to be active like I am. I ride bikes. I go to the gun range. I go to the gym. I do all these things to kind of keep myself alive and make myself look better. I can't ask for better if I don't look better. So
I like it. Hey, listen, there's a super chat here from Odin. He says Dana's wearing his Rich Cooper t-shirt. What's on your shirt there? It looks like
this is God of War. This is Kratos. I'm a big God of War fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've played a little Kratos. People started calling me Kratos of the Manosphere, and I didn't even know what the hell that was. So I had to go look it up on the PlayStation. I just downloaded it for shits and giggles to see what it was all about. Okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
The games too. I'm 51 years old. I always tell people I come from that era where I'm never going to stop doing the things that I like. So I'm going to be one of those old guys that still listens to hip hop and R&B and play games. And this is my divorce life.
You know what, man? This is what mental point of origin looks like. So guys, listen up, because this man's 51. He's divorced. He's been through the grinder. He saw what it all looked like. He's in a sexual marketplace today now where he puts himself first, tolerates no nonsense, and he's living life on his terms. This man here is the real MGTOW. Okay.
I appreciate that.
Take note. All right, Dana, I'm going to let you go because I got a bunch of other guys sitting here waiting
Good
to hop
talking
on
to
in.
you. Thanks for bringing me in.
Yeah, man. Thanks for sharing. See you.
All right.
Peace. All right. Let me grab these. Thanks for all you do. Let's grab these supers here just in case I catch up. Audiobooks. Okay, that was Waiting Room. Marissa. And she got another one for you guys. She says, another thing to accept is your hubby will watch TV, play video games after work to transition from work mindset to being home, not assume laziness. Yeah. Just, I mean, if women just understood not to nag, you know, and be unpleasant, yeah, you know, have some culinary skills, you know, basic stuff. Like it's not that hard, you know, to keep a dude around, you know. Marissa gets it. Marissa, if you want to hit that join link, you know, I'm spamming in the chat. If you want to hop on and you know, share some of your thoughts and you know why you're positioning these things, I think that would be useful as well. That'd be very cool. So that link's there in the chat already. If you want to hop on, let me see if I meet out anything else here. No, we got nothing. And Jazz says here, women are high value men have a list of standards, but get offended when men have standards for them. So that's a very good point, actually. Guys will leave like 3 to 5 items on their list. Like you saw there, they started to listing off like the top items, like the most important ones. Women, on the other hand, will list off. I've seen this thing highlighted a number of times, even in TV shows and some of the YouTube videos, you know, like breakdowns where women have like a list of dozens, if not well over 100 points that they want guys, you know, to tick off all these boxes for them. And you take a look at them and they're like a 3. They look like they fell out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down. And they just have this like entitlement attitude about them that no man is ever going to be able to live up to and fulfill, let alone want to be with somebody like that. Because if they're on the top shelf, they don't want anything to do with a chick that looks like that and has that grumpy attitude about life and men in general, right? We got some guys in the waiting area here. Let me see what I got. Jason, if you're still watching, I got your comment here, but I don't have you in the waiting area. I'd want to pull you in because you got an interesting story here. It looks like I want to feature, but anyway. So Franco, hey Richard, let's grab Franco. All right, dude, you're muted right now. You're gonna have to unmute yourself.
Hey Richard, what's up? Can you hear me?
What's happening? It says here in your message, when a female friend invites you to travel alone. What does that mean?
Yeah, the thing is that, well, I have a friend which I met for some months ago, and she basically told me to go travel together. And
meaning she wants you to pay for the trip?
No, like everyone, each one pays their own part. Yeah, we agreed on that. But the thing is that, yeah, I would like to know if that's like something like a friend will do it, or that means something.
Okay, now, when you say friend, like, are you banging? Like, is she just a friend that you play cards with? Like,
Oh, well, she's actually a friend that we hang out many times. Like, I met her last year on September, and yeah, and she suddenly, well, we made a good relationship out of ourselves, and now she told me to travel to the north of the country, and I'm like,
you haven't answered my question though yet. Like, have you been intimate with her?
No, not really, because I see her just as a friend.
Okay.
But like,
do you want to be intimate with her?
I wouldn't mind really, but the thing is that I should expect like a casual friend relationship, or like she wants to be alone.
So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get into her pants by being her friend. Like, you're trying to friend zone your way into the bedroom. And this is a common mistake a lot of guys make, right? You can't turn a friendship into an intimacy, right? It just doesn't work that way. You know, like, women have boyfriends and girlfriends, and if you're not being intimate with her, then you're her girlfriend. So when she's talking about, hey, let's take a trip together, you're going to go and take a trip with her. You're going to be paying for stuff. I don't know if you're going to pay for her ticket or pay for part of the trip or buy her dinner, drinks, or whatever. And she's going to go off and bang some Chad that she meets on the vacation, and you're going to be sobbing in your room wondering why you're not getting any of the action that you were hoping that you were going to get. You have to be very, very clear with women from the get-go. If you want to be intimate with them, you have to tell them straight up. There's a book Alan Roger Curry wrote called Mode 1. Go read that, because that makes it very, very clear the difference between sexual attention and non-sexual attention. And what you're doing is you're giving her all this free validation and, you know, attention, and she's basically, you know, going to use you to go on this trip. Like, how much of this trip are you planning on paying for? Like, how does that break down for you?
The thing is that we plan to meet there. Like, she's was on vacation with her family in another part of the north, and she told me like, I'm with them, but if you want, we can travel together. Like, we joke about traveling, and then she said, but the thing is that I'm not paying for her anything. Like, she's paying for the ticket.
No, don't travel with women. As like, if she's your sister, if she's your cousin, then I'd say okay, you know, travel. But if she's a chick that you want to be intimate with, which you've already indicated that she is, don't try to friend zone your way into her life. Right? Like, put some distance between her. If you want to be intimate with her, just tell her straight up, right? You know, you tell her from the get-go. You don't play the friend zone card, because that's not going to get you laid. That just gets guys frustrated. How old are you, Franco?
I'm 26 right now.
How many women have you been with?
I could say more than 10, yeah.
More than 10. And you haven't learned this lesson that the friend zone doesn't work yet?
Yeah, the thing is that yeah, of course I know relationship between men and women are like basically can be friends, really.
No, men and women can't be friends. Men and women don't have anything in common. Okay, aside from sex and relationships and raising children, what do you have in common, you know, with women? I like to shoot guns. I like fast cars. You know, these are the things that I like. There's nothing that. Like, there's very, very few women that have that in common with men. You see some of these chicks that are like, you know, on like the Instagram, or, you know, maybe they get pulled on to Joe Rogan or something like that, and they like to hunt, or they've got like a bow hunters thing, or a bow hunters Instagram or something like that. Okay, that might be interesting, but I still want to bang her, right? Like, I don't want to hang out with her to shoot guns. I want to hang out with her because she's hot and I want to bang, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's sex first, right? Okay, you don't try to friend zone yourself into women's lives. It's a very, very bad approach that leads many men down the wrong path, and they get super frustrated with it. Just don't do it. Like, straight up, like right here, men and women can't be friends.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to hear your advice. Maybe
That's my advice.
What to expect to that trip, because I don't know. Maybe she wants to get intimate.
No,
or maybe
listen, if she wants to get intimate, text her right now and say, I'm horny, I've got wood, come over. See what she says. Seriously.
Okay.
See what she says. Joshua says straight up, sorry to say, but you're her tampon.
Okay, well, I didn't quite get that.
Josh. You are there for emotional validation for her. Learn this lesson. Women have girlfriends and boyfriends. If you're not banging, you're her girlfriend. Don't think that it's going to turn into intimacy by taking this trip or by meeting her there for this trip. It's not going to go well. You're going to get frustrated, and I guarantee you're going to be very disappointed when you see her banging Chad when you're sitting there on the trip on the beach, sipping on your Corona by yourself, looking around, wondering where she's at. And she comes back to the table or the lounge chair walking funny because Chad just rearranged her insides.
Oh,
Smarten
okay.
up. Don't fall for this nonsense, okay?
Yeah,
I'm saying this because I actually care. Like, I'm not trying to beat you up here, but I feel like I have to come down hard on you so you can hear me.
No, really. I know that that's your intention, but yeah, I think that maybe if we were like kind of dating and then she tells me to travel, that thing will be different, right? But since we have never been intimate yet, it's like maybe it's not going to work.
Text her right now and say, I'm horny, I've got wood, come over. See what she does.
Nice. Thank you so much, Richard. Have a good one.
Be good. Okay. Let me grab the super chat that I missed here. John, how do you get over one-itis? 34, paid off my house, want to get in shape. Fat but bench 300, want now. Read my book, John. Save your $4.99 super chat. Grab my book. It's $10. Just trust me. You're going to get everything you need out of that. What else we got here? By the way, guys, with the YouTube membership, as it works like this, every other Monday I do a private Zoom Q&A for my 1% community, and I also drop the link for channel members at the tier 2 and higher. So after the show, I've got one quick coaching call for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to hop back in and do a private Zoom. So if you're in the channel member at tier 2 or higher, you'll get a link on the community tab. You can join over there too. It's just one of the extra perks. Keep forgetting to mention. Marissa, are you going to hop on? I want to put you at the front of the line. So, the link's in the chat there. Again, ask a question live. I need to make room for you. So let me just remove a few people. Kick. Who else got taken care of? I got people trying to enter, but people waiting. So, all right, Jason's back. So let me add you to the stream. Marissa, try to get on because I want to ask you some questions because you're putting up some interesting super chats that I think would be valuable to some guys. Let me remove that. And where did Jason go? Jason, there you are. Okay, Jason, what's shaking, dude?
Hey, Rich, how are you?
Good. Yeah. Share your question. You kind of typed it out there. You were divorced, 40, dating a 24-year-old a couple months ago. What's the scoop?
Yeah, so I've had her on socials for a while. There's been no mention of feminism or any sort of indicators that she's into that sort of thing. Last week posted a couple of things on Instagram that obviously indicated she was. I asked her about it. I said, I saw what you posted on Instagram.
What did she post?
The patriarchy will not F itself.
Oh, here we go.
And then a link to a book about not all men, which when I clicked on it was about not all men are basically domestically violent, that sort of thing. You get the drift. So
yeah,
I was a little surprised. I asked her about it. I said, that was pretty interesting stuff you posted. Do you consider yourself a feminist? And her answer was, yes, I do. And you should be about it as well because I'm all about equality. Mm-hmm. Which straight away was a bit of a red flag for me. So my question is, if any woman says they're a feminist, is that something worthy of walking away from straight away, or does it depend how hardcore, I guess, they are about it?
So the first thing you have to understand is all women are feminists. It's just to what degree. Okay, right. Even our lovely Marissa in our chat is a feminist to some degree, right? All women have the ability to lean on it and push that button. It's just how far down the rabbit hole do they go? Is it toxic feminism? Is it radical feminism? How do they lean on it? The way that you're describing it, like anything where women start going on about the patriarchy, the patriarchy, we have to smash the patriarchy. That's a version of toxic, radical type of feminism. And that's a red flag. I'm not saying, kick her to the curb or like take her out of rotation, but she's young, she's hot, you're out of a divorce. If she's still pleasant and in your frame, for the most part, then keep dating her, but just spin her as a plate. Like let her prove to you that she's not a radical feminist, right? Because it's funny. Every woman's a feminist until there's a big bang in the night and you've had a giant sex session and there's a big noise in the night. What are you going to do? You're going to nudge her and go, "Oh, you go get this one because I got it last time." She's not going to hop out of bed and take care of it. It's always going to fall on your shoulders. So, if she's all about equality, nudge her next time. Be like, "Oh, you heard the bang. You go take care of this one since you're all about equality, right?" Yeah. I mean, you can have some fun with it. You can have a little bit of fun with it, but it's when it starts encroaching on, possible problems and, beyond just a red flag, that's when you want to cut it loose. Like, how many other women are you seeing right now?
Just her at the moment.
Yeah.
So I've been dating on and off, and she's been the only one that I've stuck around with.
Yeah, please don't just stick with her and just keep it narrowed down to her, because now you're starting to see some of the red flags pop up. So that means, you don't invite her closer into your inner circle, into your life, right? I want you to put a little bit of distance, between you and her. And without explicitly telling her, like, I feel like you're a toxic feminist, just, by way of your actions and your availability, that's how you're going to let her know this, right?
Yeah, if she was to notice Rich and ask, obviously, what the reason is for putting distance in or that sort of thing, would that be a discussion you'd have with her, or would you just
How long have
avoid
you
that
dated
topic
her?
altogether?
How long have you dated?
Only a few months.
Oh, you don't know her that conversation. Has she given you the where do we stand talk?
Yes.
And what did you tell her?
That we're seeing each other and we'll see where it goes, that I'm fresh out of a divorce and obviously literally just come out of that and not wanting to rush into anything too soon. So
did you guys commit to one another? Like, are you monogamous, or did you just say, let's see how it goes?
Yeah, no, we're monogamous.
Okay. So, I mean, you're now going to breach your trust if you start spinning other plates.
No.
Yeah. Have you read my book yet, Jason?
I actually bought the Audible book last night and ordered a hard copy as well. So
yeah, please listen to it, because I mean, you're going to get some nuggets out of that. But I mean, you kind of rushed in this a little bit too quickly. You committed to her a little bit too quickly. I mean, you don't want to claim her or let her claim you like this soon into the dating, like only a few months on, because now she's starting to show. Because this is when the red flags start to pop up, right? Like a few months down the road. Sometimes it may not be for 6, 7, 8 months down the road. Sean Smith, in his book Tactical Guide to Women, always said you want to date a woman for like a year and a half so you can really see what she's made of, because a lot of red flags show up later on down the road, right? Like they don't show up right away. So now that you've committed to each other, a couple months in, and some red flags are starting to pop up, you're not seeing anybody else. I mean, your options are now limited. Now you're going to start getting into conflict. Like, what are these posts about? Why are you behaving this way? Like, I don't subscribe to this, notion.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thanks, Rich.
All right, man.
Take it easy.
See you, bud. All right. I got Marissa in the waiting area, so I'll throw her in a sec. Black Sheep says, thank you, Rich. Just a general super chat. Thanks, bro. Got about half an hour left. So, Marissa, I'm going to pull you in. How you doing?
Hi.
Welcome. Yeah, so I wanted to pull you in because where was your super chat here? Because you were talking about basically entering the frame of a dude.
I was gonna say yeah.
Okay, so married 3 years. It's important for wives to accept that they'll do 95%. So, like, why do you subscribe to this notion? Like, why are you different from the majority of women out there today that are like, I don't need no man, and I can do anything a man can do, and all that sort of stuff?
Well, I was first going to say about the chores. I just think it's kind of like it's easier to just do it yourself and clean it the way you want than like bothering your husband. Like, oh, when are you going to run the dishwasher? When are you going to run the dishwasher? When are you going to do it? And just like it's easier just to do it yourself than to like nag. And then like the other thing is, like in my situation, I definitely do not earn most of the money. I earn like a fraction of it. So I just figure like if he's working hard and like giving us this nice lifestyle that we have, then
are you stay-at-home mom for the most part, or
what?
Are you stay-at-home mom for the most part?
No, I work full time. I just had my first baby and I'm on maternity leave now, but I'm going to go back part-time like in May. But I think that a lot of people or women like say that they don't want a man or they don't need a man, but I think that they are, I don't know, not like wrong, but they have the completely incorrect mindset, and there's like so much joy to be had if like in a happy marriage.
Did you guys have this conversation before you got married and had kids about gender roles? Like, I'm going to go out and, catch the bacon, I'll bring it home and you cook it up?
No, I think it was just like.
Or is it just understood?
No, when we were dating, he knew how much or how little I was making, and he was okay with that. Like, he was okay with the fact that like I was only earning like a certain amount. So he knew that I would not contribute that much financially. So like, I guess if he didn't like the fact that I wasn't making that much, then he wouldn't have proposed, I would say.
What advice would you give to men?
Like, he was okay with the fact that I not like, Yes, I live in New York City, but I'm not like.
Mm-hmm. So what advice would you give to men so that they don't have to put up with these insufferable, women with the boss girl attitudes and all this, I don't need no man stuff? Because I mean, like most of the guys watching my channel right now are going to be men. There's a few women. It's like, 1 in 10 are women, that like to be a fly on the wall. And sometimes they'll contribute, kind of like you have. But
I thought you were going to say, like, what's your advice to women? You're
well,
saying,
let's deal with the advice to men first, and then let's deal with the advice to women.
So what's the advice for like guys who are dealing with like the alpha types?
Well, a lot of guys want to have kids. You need a decent woman for that. It's very high risk and low reward for men. I mean, I wrote a book basically on all the risks that men need to march through when it comes to the sexual marketplace today. So they get it, but they still ask the question, okay, so how do I have kids if I want to have kids? What if I want to have company? What if I want to have a woman in my life, right?
I would say like a lot of times like women will say like, oh, I want kids one day. Like when you're dating, they're like, you might hear the baby in the background, but
yeah, no problem.
I would say like a lot of times when men are dating, they're like, the woman will say like, oh, I want kids like one day. I think it's like best if they kind of like nail down like, well, how soon is that going to be? Because the truth is like when you get to your 30s, it takes longer to conceive. Mm-hmm. So like if you're like dating a girl who's like low 20s, she's like, oh, one day, well, that's fine because that'll probably be like in like a few years. But if a guy wants kids, like find a woman who will be like, you know what, like once we're married, let's like start trying, because it always takes longer, or it usually does.
How old are you now?
I am 31, but I'll be 32 next month.
Okay. And this is your first child?
Yeah, thank God. She's healthy and she's a month old, and I'm very proud.
Congratulations. So what advice would you give to women then? Like, do you think this whole boss girl narrative, like, do you think that the 3 girls, 1 kitchen, narrative about doing puzzles and watching some documentaries is the way to find a high value guy?
I think that like, like I'm in accounting and I like accounting. But I think there's so much more joy and pride that you feel like in the pregnancy, and like once you have the child, that like that joy and pride, like look what I did and look what my body did, and like all this stuff that you get with a baby than you will ever have with a job or a career. Like I am good at accounting and I've been in accounting since I graduated college. But there's like really no comparison, like the pride I feel when I push the stroller or like take selfies with the baby, or like when people compliment me. There's no comparison. A lot of women like, oh, my career, but it's just that level of joy is, you can't compare it.
How do you deal with the parent, like the parent responsibility? Like, let's say in the middle of the night, your daughter's crying, which children do in the middle of the night, obviously. Do you get up to deal with it? Does he deal with it? Do you take turns?
I deal with it. Well, I'm on maternity leave, so
I deal
with it. And
no problem.
I think that
the baby's crying. Do you need to deal with that, or is your husband with it?
I don't see him like succeeding, and I'm sure he can give a bottle, but like I don't know.
Okay. Your daughter's crying. Do you need to deal with that, or is your husband with it?
No, Rob is giving her a bath.
Okay, fair enough. Good. Doesn't sound like she's enjoying that bath.
No.
All right. Okay. So before I let you go, is there anything else that you want to leave for people watching?
I would say I wasn't always in this mindset. I think the way I got to it is I read a lot of anti-feminist books, and also like anti-feminist podcasts. Like,
were you ever a feminist? Like, did you ever subscribe to "I don't need no man" and "Let's climb the corporate ladder" and "Men and women are equal"?
When I was in my low 20s, like all my friends started having like serious boyfriends and like getting engaged, and I was like, well, when is it going to be my turn? So I don't think I was ever like drunk on that feminism stuff. Luckily, I didn't get sucked into it.
Why do you think that is?
because you're more
Culture,
likely
upbringing,
to do
religion.
what your friends are doing. Like,
Mhm.
if your friends are all having like serious boyfriends and getting engaged, then you want that.
Mhm.
But like, it does, like, your siblings can be doing whatever, but it's like what your friends are doing. So if all your friends are like, I mean, I get like the college hookup thing, like everyone does that. That's like typical, but it's like, what are your friends doing in their low 20s? If they're getting serious boyfriends and looking to get engaged, then you're going to start doing that. So
Okay. All right.
I think it
Well-
really depends like what your friends are doing, honestly.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you hopping on and sharing some of your
And
insights.
I like watching your channel, and I also like Rule Zero, and thank you for everything.
You got it. Thanks for hopping on. I
Have a
appreciate
good
your super
night.
chats. Yeah, you too. Have a good night. See ya. Ciao. All right. Oh, I forgot to ask her this question. I saw the super chat pop up. I'm sure that she would agree that it's here. Actually, she's still there. Question: does Marissa think marriage is too risky for men?
If you're marrying like an alpha female, it probably is risky.
What's an alpha female?
Oh, I have to go. Just someone who's like trying to like delay, just someone who's like trying to do 50-50 with the chores, or like everything has to be equal, and like that's what I mean.
Got it. Okay, so I'll let you go because I know you got to go deal
Bye.
with it. So, bye. Okay, so yeah, it's like that is the vast majority of women out there today. So when she's defining alpha female, it's not necessarily like the female version of an alpha male. That's how women typically mess up that definition. We've talked about that before on Rule Zero on my channel, so I'm not going to cover that, but you get the point. Okay, let's scroll down here. So we got a few more people in the waiting area. I got like 20 minutes left. Let's see. We got the hidden hand. You're up, buddy. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good. You're loud and clear. What can I do for you?
Thank you for taking my question. I don't know. This might be complicated. I was in a 2-year relationship with a woman, and I think we were doing fine until I live in New York. So until March, she's in the medical field, and I work as a bar. I've been working as a bartender for a while, and in March everything got closed. So I pretty much had no income for a while, and it kind of created a conflict. But it was also I think my main question is I was having trouble with the rules that we had, because her being in the medical field, we would go out for walks just to keep ourselves occupied and try to stay sane. And she wanted me to wear a mask while we were walking out on the sidewalk or going in the park and everything. And I don't really think that's necessary.
Okay.
So
are you guys still together, or did you break up?
We broke up in November.
Okay. All right. So so what's the question here?
How do I deal with, because what happened was towards the end, we would have a conflict with following the rules and everything, and I would start to get I was fine with her, but then I would start to get frustrated and angry, because I would take her somewhere that I really liked, but all these rules were in place that we had to follow. So I'd get frustrated, like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, because I don't want to stand in line or do the 6 feet thing and throw a mask on while I'm walking down the sidewalk. And I would start to get angry and frustrated, and we started to fight a lot. And then, she pretty much wasn't comfortable anymore.
Well, you got to be on the same page, and that means she has to be on your page, right? Like, I'll give you an example. Like here, we still have pretty tight, regulations here in the Toronto area, and there'd be times where I would go out, and it's like, if it's not mandatory to wear a mask going inside a store, I won't wear it. Fuck it. Like I have a neck gaiter, and I'll just pull it up over the beard over my nose just to make people like, feel like it does anything, right? Like we all know they don't do shit. Okay, but I'll just pull it up to make them happy, so they think that nobody's gonna die, and I'll put it down when I don't need to wear it, so I can, when I leave the store. And there'd be times where my girl would be wearing the mask outside of an area where you don't need to wear a mask, and I just look at her and be like, "Take that off," and she'd take it off because she's in my frame, right?
Yeah.
Like, she has to be on, like, in your frame. She has to be on your purpose, and you're going to have to course correct. And sometimes, some women will protest, others won't. Mine doesn't. It's like, oh, like just forget that it's on and it's hanging over the ears or some shit like that. And it's like, I'm not going to be around people that are going to behave like scared chickens wearing masks outside walking down the road. Like I see people driving their cars still wearing masks with the windows up by themselves. Right? Like they're like, okay, like I'm not going to get into some stuff here on the YouTube channel just because it's going to cause problems, but you get my point. You have to lead, and she has to follow that lead, right? And you do the same thing with kids too. Like if you have kids, like I do the same thing with my kid too, right? Like if she's wearing a mask outside of a store where it doesn't need to be worn, I'll be like, take that off, right? Like we're not wearing masks. Like we're not going to behave like, you know, the other sheep out there. We're not going to drive in our cars with masks on, right? So be the strong stand-up guy that, you know, she wants to enter the frame of, and she will toe the line. And if she doesn't, pound sand, get lost.
Yeah, I mean, she was in the medical field, so there was no way I was going to convince her to not do that. But like, my main question, I guess, because I've been having trouble keeping I was working in New York City too, and all that. It's still like I'm the only person who walks around without one on, and it frustrates me. And like I'm struggling to keep my anger in check, and I keep like
people are stupid.
Calm, you know?
People are dumb. You know, people are sheep. You know, they wear masks to conform with the rest of society. You know, like for some of them, it's even a fashion statement. Like they have these fashion designs on them and stuff like that, and they think it's cool.
Yeah, it's Gucci ones and everything. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to have fun, you know, fun with them, like you can buy T-shirts. Like I've seen Robert Frank's got some T-shirts about, you know, like I just wear this mask to make you shut up or something like that. Like, you know, you can have some fun with these losers, right? Like I'll make comments from time to time to people. They don't do or say anything back. Like I'm just a big guy that can walk around and say shit like that because that's, you know, that's who I am. But if I see some dork walking out of his car with a mask on, you know, I look at him like, what's that going to save you from, right? Like you're in the car by yourself. I'll just walk away. I just make the comment and I walk away. What's he going to do?
Yeah, I mean, am I too
have some fun with it, man?
On that, or like, you know, because it bothers me, but maybe it's throwing my focus off of what I'm supposed to do.
It's not what's important. Like there's a lot more important things that you should be focusing on. But what I'm talking about here is setting the tone and the frame of the kind of relationship that you want to lead.
Okay.
And you're going to have problems with this. Like, you know, there's a dude here in the chat on the Facebook page that says, I dated a nurse. The whole hero thing has gone to her head. Like, you know, like they think that this, you know, this pandemic, you know, it's hilarious. Like I saw on my Twitter feed today, there's some new vaccine that's been approved for Canada. And it said it has a 78% success rating at suppressing COVID symptoms. Okay. You still have a 99.98% survival chance if you get COVID and you're under the age of 70. So what you're telling me is it's less effective than my own immune system.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like the stupidity of society today is biblical. Like it is off the chart. And this whole thing has just proven how dumb most people are. I mean, like you can spot the betas because they're driving in their cars by themselves with a mask on, right? You can spot these sheep.
Really bad.
So
like it's
stand out from the crowd. Be a big guy, you know. Stand out, shoulders back, walk down the street with a ZFG attitude, and just carry yourself that way. And you know, just keep doubling down on yourself. Mental point of origin. Don't worry about the sheep. Let the sheep be sheep. Laugh at them if you want. You know, crack a joke if you want. Have some fun with it, but don't sweat it too much, bro.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, see you, man. The thing that like drives me nuts is some of these guys that wear like double masks and triple masks. It's like, I'm telling you, man, there's a pandemic of a lack of oxygen with some of these stupid people wearing multiple masks. I can barely breathe through one. It's just insane. Mike, I'm going to pull you in. What's shaking, bro? I like that beard. I saw the beard, so I had to pull you in. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. You got to unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry about that, Rich. Thanks for
pulling
me.
There you go. Say again.
It's my, I haven't flown in 5 months or 9 months beard. So have to
you're a pilot.
Month. I'm a pilot, yeah. So
okay.
I had a question for you. You're always talking about, you know, get in shape, hit the gym, stuff like that. I'm a distance runner, went to college for it, paid for college. I still do it. Would I be more successful, you know, bagging, being a runner, you know, bulking up, trying to improve my dating prospects, or maybe learn game? or improve the game aspect. Does that make
How
sense?
old are you?
40.
40, and you're a pilot. Okay, so you do good. Where do you live in the world?
U.S., Utah.
Okay, so the thing about runners, like if you take a look at a runner's body versus a sprinter's body,
Yes,
there's a big difference, right?
Huge difference.
Yeah, and if you ask a woman what they like better, what do you think they're going to pick?
Well, most of them say sprinters' bodies.
Yeah.
So,
like swimmers' bodies, sprinters' bodies. So, I mean, I would never say, do something explicitly for women.
Yeah.
But do what you want. Like, I like living in a strong masculine frame. I don't have a great knee on my left side because I screwed it up when I was in my 20s, pushing too much weight. So I just stick with the physique that I have, which is more of a swimmer's body. I ride my bike. I don't do any sprinting. I go to the dojo. I do a lot of striking now. That's open again, thankfully. But as far as endurance running, I don't like it. I can't do it, to begin with. But when I see somebody that's an endurance runner, I don't admire them, right? Like I don't look at them and think that's the physique that I want to have, right? Like I look at Michael Phelps from the Olympic swimming team and I think that guy looks good. That's what I want to look like, right?
Yes.
And that coincidentally happens to be what women also choose over, the other physique. So you just got to decide what you want to do for yourself. Game is always good to learn. Like, you should always have game in your toolbox.
Okay.
It's good to have because it's like the good, it's a great equalizer for everything. So definitely learn game. I mean, I'm not gonna ramble on about it here. Troy has some books on his website, troyfrancis.com, I think is a website. Renegade Dating Blueprint. He's got a lot of game books in there. Mystery Method is probably one of the oldest and best ones. It's still relevant today. Those would be the main ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will check that out. Thank you.
All right, man.
Appreciate it. Have a good day.
See ya. Ciao. All right, what do we got here? I got 10 minutes, so it means I got time for like one or two more. I got Olaf there. Olaf, what's up, buddy?
Oh, hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. So yeah, I was just listening. I didn't really have any question.
Oh, okay. You're just listening. Well, if you don't have a question, I should pull in somebody else.
Yeah. Maybe next time, but yeah.
All right. Okay. So, guys, if I drop that link to join, make sure you only join if you have a question. You can just watch from the YouTube page. Let's see who I got here. I think Daniel's been waiting for a bit. So, Daniel, you're up.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good evening, Mr. Rich. I'm good, yeah. I wanted to ask you, what source do you recommend for starting up an online business when you have no expertise in this field, and the targeted audience is the US. The targeted customers are the US customers. So what do you recommend? Because there is a lot of sources there, and
what are you selling? Like, what's the product?
I don't know yet. I have no expertise or knowledge in the field. I have like a lot of ideas, but I didn't start anything. So I'm asking you. Yeah.
No, this is too broad of a question for me to answer on this show. Sorry, Daniel. I'm going to pull you out. Guys, when you come with questions, come with something specific, please. Like if you come with, hey, I've got this business idea. What do you think of it? We can talk about that. But if it's like, I'd like to sell something in the US, what do I sell? No, too broad. Ethan, I'm going to pull you in. Okay.
Hey, how's it going, man? You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Hey, I'm 26. I've kind of gone down like a red pill MGTOW baptism over the past 2 years or so. I'm a Christian Reformed Baptist. So I've got some religious tint to my views as well. Obviously, as a Christian, I have expectations, from my family and some people in my church. So obviously I'm not falling, by being MGTOW, which causes some conflict. Anyway, that's I don't want to get too broad. Really, my main question is, a lot of times when I, talk to blue pilled people who actually want to have a conversation about red pill views and are just immediately dismissive. A lot of times one of the often, stated counterpoints that comes up that you'll hear is people will say, well, what you're saying, some of it makes sense, but, don't you need to apply these criticisms to both? So if I bring up like hypergamy, for example, right? If I explain what hypergamy is and I say hypergamy doesn't care, they'll say, well, yeah, like I can see what you're saying, but men have similar qualities. They're looking for like the top females and all that. So really, why are you applying it to women so strongly? Shouldn't you apply it to both men and women? So I guess what I'm
Who are
asking
you
is like,
talking
what,
to when you're having this conversation?
well, just multiple people, but like, okay, like just today, I was just with a friend of mine. He's a colleague of mine. We were having beers, and he's in a new relationship, and he's blue pill, more or
Are you
less.
are you trying to
he was
red
like,
pill these
"Well,
guys because you want them to join your club?
no, we were talking about we haven't talked like this guy specifically. We hadn't talked in a long time, and he was talking about his relationship, and he asked me what I was doing. I just kind of was just giving him my, I don't know, I've kind of been, blah blah blah, and I think I brought up like the term red pill or something like that, and he was like, oh, I've heard of that before, and we started talking about it, and so when I kind of got to explaining, some of these things, he was like, yeah, he's like, I think you need to apply that ideology more broadly to both sexes instead of just focusing on women or whatever. So no, I don't like go out trying to preach or baptize, but
yeah.
yeah.
So generally speaking, you don't want to waste any time trying to initiate people that don't want to be initiated, right? The teacher's going to appear when the student's ready. The student's ready when they have their heart broken, when they get cheated on, when they go through the divorce machine, when they get bad results with women time and time again. When you start talking to like one of your average Joe friends about red pill concepts like, hypergamy, and then they start, feeding you some crap. Well, it doesn't just apply to women. Why doesn't it, why can't it also apply to men? It's like, okay, you might as well like talk to this mug. Okay. Like just have a conversation with this mug instead. You're going to get further. It's good. In fact, get this mug and give it to your friend.
Well, no, I mean, like, but I mean,
these are all in the Teespring store below, right?
Yeah, if you don't think it's applicable to the show, you can come down and go. But I mean, I was just wondering, like, I'm still learning. I'm 26. I'm only 2 years into this kind of journey. I guess I'm just saying, like, what I mean, do you have like, what is the generalized?
Why are you
like
MGTOW right now? Let me ask you that question.
Why am I MGTOW?
Yeah.
I basically was at like a mental low point a few years. I've never been in like a long-term relationship, but I was like kind of mental low point like a few years ago, and I did a lot of self-evaluation, and I had been like rejected by this girl that I liked, and I was all like, oh, this is the worst, I can't, I'm gonna be alone, blah blah. I basically came to the realization after diving into some MGTOW content and some
who do you watch as far as MGTOW content?
Watch Coach. I watch Red Pill Men's Health. I read some books. I want to read your book. I haven't gotten it yet. I read The Manipulated Man, Villar's Manipulated Man, all this stuff. All this to say, I basically came to this realization point where I was like, oh, okay, everything I've ever done my entire life for any reason was to please a woman, whether it be my mother or the girls my age around me. I've never done one thing to improve myself ever for me. And so I just kind of got, oh, okay. So I deleted all my dating apps, stopped, pursuing women, and just kind of like went on this kind of personal journey to just be me and try to like improve myself for myself, I guess.
Got it. But I mean, like you're in your 20s, like, this is like these are the years for you to lay the foundation for your life. These are the years to bang. These are the years to understand women. These are the years to kind of like go through all that. Because if you're a Christian guy, and I assume you want to have a family and children, you need to have your head squared away properly when it comes to women, when you want to cross that bridge. And, sitting around being a man going his own way, doing nothing to kind of like remedy all these things, watching more MGTOW content, like the sort of stuff that I'd say that you'd be better off watching and reading would be Rollo's books, book 1 and 2, specifically. In fact, since you're a man of God, read his 4th book. It just came out. It's on religion.
I'm sorry, who is this? I'm sorry.
Rollo Tomasi.
Okay.
He's got a book series called The Rational Male. Stop watching the MGTOW content. I'm not a MGTOW content creator. It's it's a place that you can visit, take a break from stuff, regather, and then you build yourself back up from there. But I get that you've been hurt and you got to work on some of that stuff. But you've got to lead by example. Like this friend of yours, you're talking about hypergamy with, and it's like, hey, let's have this conversation. He wants to argue with it. Like you won't have these, like a real MGTOW doesn't have conversations with guys like that, right? They just choose themselves first. They'll go and make decisions on a daily basis that are surrounded with mental point of origin. Just stay away from anything negative that's like, oh, look at this article and see, women aren't worth it, and this is why you should just stay MGTOW. like I said, it's a place to visit. Okay.
Well, you
But
say
you have to build
say
yourself
that.
back up after that.
You say that, but don't. I mean, I've heard you espouse on this channel, on your podcast, that you don't believe that marriage is a good investment for men, pretty much at all. I mean, is that
I don't
true?
think it is. No, I don't think it
Okay.
is.
So I mean, that's you're saying like, oh, you're a Christian, so you want to have a family. But what I'm saying is that I'm kind of trying to steer myself away from that and kind of trying to not make that a goal. Which
Got it.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to
So-
make that not my goal. Is that
So,
I don't
Ethan?
want to have that. Yeah.
So Ethan, the clarity that you need, you will get from my book. You'll get from Rollo's first 2 books. I haven't read
Okay.
his 4th book yet on religion, but get Rollo's Rational Male series and read my book, The Unplugged Alpha. Come back on the show in
Okay.
a few weeks once you've gone through all that, and then ask some more questions. That I got to run though, because I got to
Okay.
hop on a
Yep.
coaching call that I can schedule for 9:30. So I got 2 minutes to wrap up. So I'm going to let
Yep.
you go now.
Yep.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Peace.
appreciate your
Thanks,
time.
brother.
Thank you. Yep.
All right, see ya. Guys, I won't have time to do any more because I do have a scheduled call that I got to hop on, but I just dropped the Zoom link for the community members at the Q&A tier and higher. It's there. I'm going to hop on that probably in about 15, 20 minutes once I finish that call. And real quick, I just have to shout out. I got to get a new camera because my hardware is kind of messed up, but just going to shout out to the channel sponsor. It'll be pinned in the top comment. Grondike Soap Company, the Tactical Soap Company, is a great supporter of this channel and the content that's created on it. You can go to coopersoap.com and check out with coupon code Cooper, get 10% off. I'll be back next Monday. We're getting close to the 100th episode. But again, if you're in the Q&A tier 2, the link is on the community tab of the YouTube channel. So just where you got home, videos, playlist, community membership, go to community. There's a members only post if you want to hop over on the Q&A on Zoom. I'll see you guys there in like 20 minutes. Have an amazing night. Peace out.